That's a really scary question.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, I'm not talking about some surface classroom. I'm talking about you're in a classroom full of your peers of people you love, respect, and it's like, hey man, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
And who are you trying to become? What are you trying to be? What are you doing here? What is your purpose, man?
Yeah.
That's a really heavy, it laid on me. I really loved your answer to this. Shout out to Sierra, had a beautiful answer as well. She texted to me in the class. It was perfect. Like what she said was perfect and what you said was perfect because it's simple. And I think when people who am I? That's scary.
Yeah.
Because I would say 99% of us don't know who we are, which is terrifying.
All right. What's up, guys? This is episode 5 of the Seed Time and Harvest podcast, where we hope to inspire you to stop focusing so much on the outcome and focus on the process.
Yes, sir.
That's our goal and our mission here. I'm with my main man, Alex Chapman. I am Nate Forse, and I can't believe it's episode 5 already, dude.
No, me either. Have you been listening to him after?
I love it. Yeah. I'm a podcast guy to begin with. That's kind of why I wanted to start this, because that's my preferred medium of consumption of content. And I listen to them in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has your mom or anyone in your immediate family
I actually
heard
haven't heard. I haven't even checked with them.
Really?
Yeah.
How about wifey? She listens?
She's giving me great feedback.
Really?
Yeah. She's just always positive. She's like, it was great, babe.
What'd she say?
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, yeah,
you did awesome.
That's
I'm
good.
give me a little let me get better. Sharpen me a little more, you know?
What did she say?
She's just always super positive with me. She's my biggest fan. I know that girl has my back regardless of anything. It makes me a little emotional talking about it because it took me so long to find her, and I'm just so grateful for life with that girl, man. It's awesome.
I don't think it took you long. I think you took the long road.
I was right on time.
You were young, and I don't know when did you meet her?
I was 36.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you did take a longer road than most.
Yeah. But we both knew what we want. She called her best friend right after we met. First date. She's like, I'm going to marry this guy. And I was a little bit slow. I took another 9 days before I told her she was my person. But it was just it was crazy, bro. We met on Hinge, and I saw her profile, and it had this feeling of oh my gosh. It was just on her picture. It was if I say, yeah, I like this girl. I don't know. It's not a swipe, I don't think, on Hinge. I think you have to click a button or something. But it was you're going to go down this road and there's no coming back from this. So it was kind of scary.
Okay.
Even going to our first date, it was oh my gosh, this is it. There's no changing this now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Manifested the whole thing.
Dude, that's a great segue into what we wanted to talk about today of build the life you don't need a vacation from. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think it's funny, you building a life that you don't need a vacation from is what's funny is when you text me that, I thought you were just in a great mood because you just bought a house, you moved, sold the other house, you're doing your backyard, you're doing all these things, and you're moving, and I was like, oh, so we've been talking a lot about that, and then it kind of came through, and I was so busy with texting and making just my life on my phone is crazy. And then I kind of felt it came through unsolicited, build a life you don't know. And I was like, hell yeah, love it. So it wasn't to me, it was so natural coming from you that it didn't sound like a topic. And what's funny, and before I get into this, I just want to say about you, just a shout out to you as a friend too, and a brother in this, and this whole thing is when I met you, I don't, as a man, right? You don't know who you're sitting with. You don't know who it is. And you start, and I let everyone in. I don't care who you are. I'm going to let you in. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt of everything until you either wrong me or you I start to notice toxic traits, or I might put some distance or whatever. And you would always say so many positive things. And I'm like, this guy, he's not, either this is who he is or this is who he isn't, right? There's no, you're either that positive all the time or you're hiding from something. You know what I mean? You have a mask on. And I've met both.
Sure.
I've met people that I'm like, 10 years later, I'm like, that guy is fucking consistent. That's truly who he is. But when other people meet him that don't know him, they're like, that guy, like, oh yeah, okay. They're almost like that hater mentality, like, yeah, Mr. Positive over there, always trying to hype us up to do more and do better and be happy and build a life you don't need a vacation from and blah, blah, blah. And now after knowing you and like truly opening up to you as a friend and brother and talking about God and our people and our children and wife and Haley and babies and just like once we really start to get vulnerable and do this, I'm like, all right, like this guy like really is like the power of manifestation, the power of belief, the power of taking action is you. So I just do like, thank you for me to you, man. Like that. And so building the life that you don't need a vacation from, it's funny that you say that. For me personally, and I don't know who else can relate to this, is like, I don't take like a ton of vacations. And trust me, I've had plenty of money to do it over the years. And I've always been like afraid to just like, oh no, I'm so deep in this. I just want to go. And if I leave for this amount of time, like, and it wasn't about like the money or the business, it was just like, I'm going, whether it was fitness on the rocks or the gym or whatever. Like I was always so immersed into what I was involved with that I didn't need to be like, I need some time away from this. And so I feel like I've always kind of been in this situation where I want to build a life that I don't need a vacation from and not just chained to it. Because I've struggled with, have I been chained to all these things? And I'm like, I didn't have the power to delegate. And that's why I didn't take the vacations. I'm like, no, I truly love being in it. And when I'm gone too long, I get anxious and I want to rush back home and I miss certain parts of my life. And, so to me, building a life you don't need a vacation from is just living through your beliefs.
Love it.
Like live it. Like I believe I'm doing the right thing. I believe I'm around the right people. I believe that she's the one for me. I believe that these people out here in our real estate organization and team is the perfect place that I need to be sitting. If you have clients that don't serve you, get rid of those clients so that you're not toxic at work. So it has taken me time to like figure this out, but I do crave some vacations. But the reason why I'm like craving vacations more than other are just my kids are getting older. And I'm like, I want them to see different parts of the world. Not like some, vacation to like Malibu or Scottsdale or so even parts of Florida that are just kind of like, I want to like take them to places and let them see. So just experiences. Like I want my kids to experience stuff, but I don't crave trips at all because I truly am at peace where I'm at. And I don't think I think it's very difficult to build a life you don't need a vacation from. You have to be very happy and content with yourself and your family and your work.
Well, you have to know what you're going for.
Yeah.
You have to design that. Yeah. Like I remember going to a Tony Robbins event and he was talking about like, I built this dude and I don't, like you said today.
Talk about himself.
Yeah. Like I believe there's a piece of truth that no one of us is self-made. Like you said today, I think that's the biggest crock of BS like anyone's ever been fed. Like the self-made man, like, no, you had help along the way. Even like your mom helped you out, like gave birth to you, Yeah. You don't choose to beat your heart and you don't choose to naturally breathe and all that stuff. It's like, give thanks to something bigger than yourself. Right. But I think like in order, like to me, build a life you don't need a vacation from, it means I know what kind of life I want. It doesn't mean I'm not working. It doesn't mean I'm, sipping Mai Tais on the beach all day, but it's like, I'm going home and I'm happy. I'm in peace. And for me, man, like I was reflecting with my wife last night and we're about to have a baby in a couple weeks. And I was like, babe, think of where we started at the beginning of this pregnancy. And we took a trip back home to Pennsylvania to see my family. It was like a family reunion. And I had to take out a credit card just to put the trip on that. And that's not fun, paying for meals. Like, I hope this goes through. I hope this goes through. And just living with that stress and like how much my life has changed. Yeah, and I know you've been there too, bro.
That's gnarly.
And so I think a lot of people can look on the outside and be like, oh man, so-and-so has this all together or everything's cool or you don't know someone's story. And that's why it takes like getting to know people and being more curious as opposed to being judgmental. And, you know, I was sitting back in my beautiful home now, just looking up at the stars, and I legit saw 6 shooting stars.
What?
6 in one night, dude. One was so big, it was like across the sky, and it like stayed bright. Never seen anything like that in my life.
Wasn't Elon Musk up there?
Nah, dude. But it was like the first time
Starlink.
I've
You're
actually
like,
like
shooting stars I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. They're just
satellites fucking flying around. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude. But like, it was like the first time, probably since I've been like 16, that I've actually just sat. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I haven't rested. You go back to the gym, like your muscles grow. You need to exercise them, but they don't. If you just break them down all the time, you're going to get injured. You have to rest in order to actually improve and grow. And it was like, man, I haven't had a space to rest forever. I've been just renting here and there. It's been struggling to pay rent and this and that and all this other stuff. And it's like, man, I'm so grateful to this team, to this real estate opportunity, for even just the courage to just trust where I was being led. Because it's like, it's led us to a life now that I've always seen, but it's like actually here. And it's like, I'm not used to it yet, if that makes sense. It's like when does this stop? Like, when do the lights turn out, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's like, I'm just keep going forward. And it was a cool, I had my class on Tuesday that I taught. Mm-hmm. And I was telling you about this a little bit. Battled migraines, like since I've been in 7th grade. And I get super like foggy after that. Like I have a hangover almost. And it lasts like 2 to 3 days. I usually don't work out for like 2 to 3 days after that, because it happens when I strain. Did a big squat workout on Monday and I felt great. And then I walking out of the gym, boop, I get migraine where I can't see. It's like your face will like split in half. It's crazy. And like there's all these splotchy dots and stuff like that. And it lasts for like 3 days at least.
You go get that shit checked out.
It's been something. It's just, it basically what happens, from to the best of my knowledge, the casing around your brain, it gets tight, and that's what like constricts blood flow or something. And that's what kind of, they don't really know what causes migraines, and everyone's symptoms are kind of different. But I used to get them so bad, I would puke and stuff after basketball games if I didn't get like a place to just nap and be in like a dark room. But anyways, side note, like I had that right before, the day before I was supposed to teach. Mm-hmm. And we talk about trust and everything. And it was like, I'm going into this class feeling super foggy. Like it'll be hard for me to form sentences at times. I'm thinking it.
You were in that headspace teaching?
Yeah. Like I'm thinking
I didn't even know.
And that's a trust piece for me as well, dude. Like this is part of this whole thing. How you do one thing's how you do everything. And it was like, I'm just going to trust the words are going to come. And I was, at one point, I started to feel like that feeling of like, I can't formulate sentences. And I was getting really nervous.
Really?
And it was just like, you got to quiet that noise because it's happening. And it's just, it is what it is. You just got to deal with that.
Damn, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's like, so that makes me think, right? Like I heard someone talking about this at one time, probably on a podcast, but it's like when you really start to accomplish the things that are difficult, that you're scared to do, whether it be getting up early, public speaking, in meetings with clients, whatever that case may be, like showing homes and real estate, writing offers, handling family business at home, like you're basically like mastering your life, like your day-to-day tasks, your workout, your everything, and you're in this routine, and you're just, whether you're feeling like you were feeling or you're feeling like $1 million, and you've enough times of feeling like shit while you're showing up, running a team meeting for B1. If you think that I've been up there and I'm just 100% every time I'm up there, you're crazy. Yeah. And there's been times I'm up there and 5 minutes before, a business partner has been like, I want you to buy me out, dude. And I'm like, all right, okay, well, oh, wow. All right, let me just go run this meeting really quick, right? Or,
and that actually happened. You're not being hypothetical.
Yeah. He was like, I just wanted you to be the first to know. And I'm like, fuck, all right. Let me go address 50 people real quick, and then we'll talk about that, And then back when I was being a knucklehead or like being hungover, like complete shit. And like to the point where like I didn't sleep at all, you know, like just an all night come in and be like, you know, I got 1 hour, I got to focus for 1 hour. But like once you've gone through life doing things when you're feeling 100% and doing when you're feeling in the negatives, you're going to blitz through everything all the time.
Yeah.
Because you're not calling it quits. When your brain hits that moment, whether for you it's a migraine, for me it could be, you know, anti-anxiety, you know, or social anxiety or depression or something that I've battled with. And once you're like, nope, you have to show up. When it hits you, you still show up. Whereas most people would like right before a teaching class and having, you know, almost 20 people relying on you to like super excited, did the homework for you, showed up, and you would have pulled me aside before you walked in like, hey, dude, I got a fucking migraine. I can't even talk right now, dude. Let me run you through 5 minutes of what this is, dude. Can you teach it for me?
Yeah.
And like, I would venture to say that almost 10 out of 10 people would have just tapped. Or the day before, been like, I'm just not feeling well.
Yeah.
But you've done it enough times where you've attacked, whether it be a game you had to play, whatever, business, you had to train a client back in the day feeling like some kind of way. You had to go and catch, you know, 200 yards receiving, but you were feeling, and you were just like, nope, not making it happen. So you've trained your brain to do things that you do when you're feeling 100%, when you're feeling in the negatives. And so it's like you, myself, and there's a bunch of folks, I think, even in the room with us on our real estate team on B1 that are like, that have constantly and consistently like passed through that. And those are the people just that are dangerous. Because you can do it when you're feeling good. You can do it when you're feeling like shit.
You know what's interesting about that? You're 100% right. I think me and you have an ability to like just turn it on and no one would ever know. And that's where I've been for so many years of just like sweeping it under the rug. Personally, even like myself, I'm not facing things. I'm just putting my face on, yeah, I'm great, bro. How are you? And you'll never know. And I think that's why me and you can read each other. It's like real organized, real.
Are you good, dude? I'm like, nah, I'll hit you back.
Yeah. And it's like, you know when the mask is on, right? And it's not a bad thing to just push through. But if you're sweeping things under the rug and it's years and years and you're never dealing with stuff, that's been for me of just, yeah, I'm fine. I'm going to keep going. And that was my rut. And like life just kept spinning in circles. My coach, Reggie, shout out to Reggie, he says, you know, your life starts going in a straight line when those circles stop. And so it's like you start progressing when you figure out those things that are constantly coming back to you. But yeah, man.
What a nightmare. I mean, it is so hard. Life is hard.
Yeah.
Life is, I've taken it for granted because, like, humbly speaking, like life was easier for me in multiple ways than it has been for other people of whether it's a different race, different gender, or whatever. Like, I can say that I've been given opportunities and other people haven't for multiple reasons, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and you take that for granted until you realize, you know, what you're trying to accomplish. And so this is something, you know, that really jacked me up in a good way. So you're teaching your class.
Yeah.
I really took it seriously. I'm like, I really want to dive in. I'm so curious. I've never done a DISC assessment before. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on human psychology. That's all I've ever truly been interested in when it comes to like the intellectual space. I'm like, people, psychology, how do you work? How do you tick? Let me know how you work, Nate, so that like when we're together, I can really be here with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I've never really like, maybe in therapy or some things, I've really gone deep with myself and been like, oh God. But looking up at the screen and going through it, I was like, this is great. And then you slap us with, you know, who am I and who do I want to be? Right? Is that what it is?
What's my purpose?
What's my purpose? Well,
yeah.
So
same thing. Yeah.
And that's been sticking with me because I've said it to you now 3 times. Who am I and who do I want to be? You know, and what's my purpose and who do you want to be is they go hand in hand. But what's your purpose? Like really, especially the stage of my life I'm in, and I could probably speak for a lot of people on our real estate team. That's a really scary question.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, I'm not talking about some surface, classroom. I'm talking about you're in a classroom full of your peers of people you love, respect, and it's like, hey man, who are you? Mm-hmm. And who are you trying to become? What are you trying to be? What are you doing here? What is your purpose, man?
Yeah.
That's a really heavy, it laid on me. You know what I mean? Like had I been in another setting or something, I'd be like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'd have been like, I gotta go think about this.
Got a conference call.
And it did, and still is messing with me. And so I really loved your answer to this. And Sierra, shout out to Sierra, had a beautiful answer as well. She texted to me in the class, but it was like, it was perfect. Like what she said was perfect and what you said was perfect because it's simple. And I think when people like, who am I? That's scary.
Yeah.
Because I would say 99% of us don't know who we are, which is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because because if you don't know who you are, you definitely don't know what you're trying to become or what your purpose is.
You have no direction.
And your answer. And so you gotta say it on here because it was powerful for me. And I think a lot of people, there was a lot of like, oh wow. Like you could see the room's energy kind of go, wow, that was a really great perspective. And clearly you had been thinking about this response for a long time. So could you just share it with whoever wants to listen here? So it's like,
well, I mean, for anyone who's struggling with this question as well, I mean, this is arguably the two most important questions you'll ever be able to answer in your entire life. And most people don't have any context for it because they just think, who am I? Oh, I'm a doctor. I'm a painter. I'm a lawyer. I'm a real estate agent, whatever it is. But that's what you do. It has nothing to do with who you are as a person. And it's taken me a long time to get there because the first time I heard that question, it was like, what?
Which was how long ago? Oh,
man, probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. And I had no context. And it freaked me out just like you. It's like, I'm supposed to know this, but I don't. And for me, it just boils down to I'm a child of God. There's also titles I carry. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a leader. I'm a visionary. I'm an athlete. Like all those other titles, there's a lot of hats that I can wear. But at the end of the day, man, I'm the child of God. Because everything else I do boils down to that. And until you can answer that, it's like, who am I? What is my purpose? Why am I here? And if you can't answer those three questions, bro, like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And so it's taking time, getting present, all the stuff we've talked about on here to be able to answer those questions, And so the purpose thing for me, this has taken me a long, and you talk about getting very succinct with it. It's got to be able to answer it quickly. It's got to just flow off your tongue. And for me, it's help people find freedom and show people how to do this. For a lot of my life, when I was a coach, when I was living in LA, when I was trying to pursue this podcast thing, I was trying to put on this hat and become this person. And whereas now it's like, I don't know how you prepare. Like that class, I didn't prepare for it because I'm a vessel. Holy Spirit's talking through me.
You were prepared. With yours, you knew but you have a bullet point.
I had read it, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'd glanced through it like, I'm going to talk about da-da-da. But you got to leave room for Spirit to work through you, to talk. Otherwise, it's just me, hey, here's my 10 points. And then I know you've done that. For me, like you prepare and and then it falls flat. You're like, what happened? It's because you weren't a vessel. You weren't being that. And this is, I think, what I love about this so much. I feel like these things fly by. Like we've been already going, what? 22 minutes. It feels like 22 seconds basically, right? But like you have to be able to answer those two questions if you want to build a life that you don't need a vacation from, right? So you have to design your life, but you have to know who you are in order to design it.
Yep.
And you have to be given the purpose because you can try to design it. I did for years. But like what's the point of buying a Ferrari if you don't know what it's for, right? And so for me, like one thing I've really struggled with growing up from my background, we didn't have much. The average income in my town today is $37,000. My parents' first home, I think, was $32,000.
The average income still is $37K?
Still, today. This wasn't like 1980s. Yeah. And like, so material things for me are, it's like a little bit of a challenge, but if it's not yours, if you're not looking at it like, oh my gosh, I got this, it's a gift. You've been given it, you steward it, you're supposed to give it on. Like the friend I just introduced you to, like being able to bless him with a few $100 Where 9 months ago, I was stressing over those same few $100, but now it's like I get to give that to someone else and help them. Mm-hmm. Man, there's no better feeling than that, dude. It's like I'm really understanding now. It's like it is better to give than to receive, but someone has to receive in order to give, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you got to understand those questions, be able to answer them if you're going to live life. And so for me, it all boils down to freedom, and I'm a child of God. It's really all it is. And I spent a lot of years trying to talk about freedom, but being stressed out all the time. Like, what's money if you're stressed out about it all the time?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I have like, and what's cool about that question, right? And you and I have been on this, like, I would say we've been on a pretty heavy discovery path with each other, with business, like our thoughts, conspiracies, and shit, which I'm sure one day we'll get into in here as we start to grow this and stuff, and like, but as when you're on the discovery path, it is because you're still lost. But you can be found and lost at the same time. Like, you know where you are, you know what you're like, you're doing the right things, you're sober, you're working out, you've got great balance with this, but you're still missing something, like some fire or some fuel, or where you're just like, God, I feel like, what piece or am I missing? I could just be speaking for me, because this has been something that, like, for, I would say the last, like, I don't know, maybe 4 years, 5 years, where it was just like, first it was all about, just the deal, the real estate deal, and like, can I accomplish that? And once I knew I mastered the art of that side of the deal, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
And then it was like, ooh, well then I wonder if I can make $1 million. You do that and you're like, okay. You're like, oh, I wonder, well, then now what? Do I work twice as hard for 2 million?
Yeah.
Do I start investing in building that? And then you start getting distracted because your goals have kind of, if your goal was set on $1 million and you hit it, but you weren't thinking past that, you get up there and you did really well, but you're kind of lost, And then I went through, the divorce and some things that people would have been like, dude, you fucking blew it. You had everything. I've had people come to me and be like, dude, you had everything.
Yeah.
And you blew it. They don't know what I was battling. Mm-hmm. I had most things. I didn't have everything. Right. And I had a lot, like what other people saw was material, a house, cars, things like that, where like, that's what to a lot of people, that is everything.
Yeah.
And once you have some of those things, if maybe all of them, it's not everything at all. If you're not at peace when you're getting all the things, you're in big trouble, right? And so growing our real estate team, I never had an intention to grow the real estate team. I was never this, like, I never had all this passion to just like grow the team. I was actually annoyed initially, like with people asking me tons of questions.
Really?
Yeah, because, and it wasn't because, and I love serving and helping people. It's my like love language. I love like, let me bring you on and put you on. But I got so far away from that because I was chasing the deal, and I was doing so well. I was kind of blinded. So even when you came in to the game and started working for our team, I was like, not really, like, I wanted everyone to be successful, and I love that, and I fuel on that. But I wasn't just going to donate like my entire life to you or her or them. And I wasn't. Then I went and I had a string of closings and made, several $100,000 in a very short period of time, And I was like, not even showing up to the closings. like I wasn't even like looking at my bank account when the money was hitting. I wasn't like spending it really either. I was just kind of like, this is not what I wanted.
This ain't the
at
path.
all, right?
Yeah.
And I knew something drastically needed to change. And now, coming through this entire journey, like with everything we've done with Zillow, everything we've done with Compass, all this stuff, it's only until recently that the path is like just staying consistent, being around good people, being vulnerable about like, no, I'm not really feeling too good, but I trust you, I trust her. Let's just keep going. But I hope we get somewhere.
Yeah.
We're eating just enough, but now like all these like doors are starting to open. And for the first time, I'm getting so much gratification again in my life for knowing without a fact, and it's not a lie, it's not pipe dreams. It's not some sale that someone can walk in our door, like the guy you introduced me to, like Gabriel, who you introduced me to, and his life can change. Mm-hmm. That sparked like the love in this again, where I'm like talking to him this morning, talking to a few other people this morning about joining our B1 team. I can look at them and look at anyone now and go, oh, if you're a part of this, like if this is what you want, it's here.
Yeah.
You can have it. We're going to show you how to get it. And I've got my only focus is that you get it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get it. And I don't want to do the $15 million deal. I want you to do it. And my joy is going to come from watching you blast off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I'm almost like, I could be like, get emotional talking about it because I've been like just in the Mojave Desert, dude. Like,
yeah.
And I turn back and like Mikey's still there. And I'm like looking at Isaac. And then I see like,
that'd be a great movie trailer.
A handful of like loyal brokers on the team and new people coming on. And I'm like, something's going right.
Yeah.
So let's keep going, you know? And now I'm like, holy shit, we have this amazing opportunity with Zillow.
Yeah.
We have this amazing opportunity with Compass. You like people like you are just like, you're going to break through the ceiling in multiple ways. I don't even know where you're going to go with this, but like, I want to be part of that too. You don't know where we're going to go with this, but you want to be part of that. And it's like, there's no ego. And when you can operate and collaborate without ego and grow without ego,
I mean,
I feel so good right now.
We're
about
in a
that.
very unique situation, man. I've been a part of a lot of sales organizations, and I haven't been a part of one where you give something 30 to 90 days, you're going to be making a significant amount of money. And it's like, that's freaking crazy, dude. If you're good with people and you actually want to do this, and I actually meant to do this, like, yeah, I could say that to anyone, but not anyone could do this, right? If you're called to do it, if you know those two questions, who am I, what's my purpose, and this aligns with it, I mean, that's the key, dude.
Game over.
You know? And I mean, I look at like monetarily, like I've already done more than I've ever done in my entire life in this year alone. And it's like my life is, and I just want to bring people on. Like my best friend in Cleveland, he's going through a lot of stuff right now. And I'm like, dude, you can move out here. I can't promise you this, but if you do the work, you're going to reap the rewards. It's seed time harvest, right? And like, I can't not talk about it, right? And so, like,
That's
I'm
when
super excited, dude.
No,
and
man,
I'm
me
with
too.
you, man. Like, I feel like things are evolving. I'm already, like, thinking about, hey, how do I start flipping homes? Because after I just sold my house and bought my house, I'm like, I pretty much just flipped the house as it is. Why don't I just do this again? And with the loans you can get. Anyways, that's another topic. But, like, it's like it opens up a whole world to you. It's an onion. And it's like you got to get those. Why I love talking about this, why I don't care about teaching on how to sell a house is because I know those nuts and bolts are pretty easy, but it's not easy when you don't have those questions still in your mind. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just thought I was going to make a ton of money,
dude.
You know, it's impossible.
You got no matter even if you're making $1 million a year, if you don't know why you're doing this, and you've got the money, you're like, oh, it'll burn right through your hand.
Yep.
It'll just catch on fire in your hand. You're like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
And then you're really depressed.
But also too, it's like I'm at a place where I got this baby coming. I know I'm gonna have to take a little bit of time off.
Yeah.
I got 3 closings next week, which is awesome, but I don't have a lot in the pipeline. But then, I get another listing that comes over. Then I get a referral, comes from another client. And it's just like, man, my dude's got me. You know, all I got to do is stay in trust. I got to keep removing worry, removing stress, which has been a huge part of my life. Stay resting, go home to my sanctuary where I can now do this. And it's like, I'm now showing people, hey, this is the path, bro. Do what I did. Whereas a lot of my life I was saying, hey, I read this book. You should do this. But it wasn't, hey, no, I've done ABC. Just follow along. So to me, that's everything, bro.
That's good shit.
Yeah, man. Well, maybe let's wrap on that.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
I'm good
man.
with that. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Episode 5.
Boom.
Build a life
that
you don't need a vacation from.
That's right.
Peace.